Okay, welcome back to part two, my friends. Here we are, so far looking very, very nice. There's one thing I wanted to do, and I was looking back at the painting. I was kind of sitting there looking, and do you know what I thought? I might make these a bit higher, just a bit. So I'm going to take a little burnt umber and a touch of black, and I'm just going to increase the size, the height of these. I think they need to be just that little bit higher. What do you think? I just think to make more of an impact on this side, just slightly higher would make all the difference. I mean, even just that much there, I think, and maybe just increase the size of this one a little bit more. How's that? I think that's a little better, isn't it? Now it's up to yourself, of course, you can just leave, but I'm going to move over to this side and just start filling in that side with some nice burnt sienna, a little bit of cadmium yellow. I'm just going to fill in this side, just cover the white of the canvas, fill that all in, and I'm then going to kind of start just going up into those trees in the back up there. Look, it's going to kind of soften it up very slightly. And let me take a touch of burnt umber as well. Again, just to fill the background up slightly. Do you know what I mean? Let's take some burnt umber and a little cadmium red. And I'm just going to kind of create a little bit of texture in all of this. And again, remember, I want to kind of soften this into the roadway as well, so it's not just a completely separate area, so to speak. So I just want to kind of take some different colours now, some black and a bit of red perhaps, and just darken it down slightly, you know, just have a bit of fun with it all. Just like that. We have lots of rocks and stuff like that, don't we? So what I'm going to do first is put some background trees in. So let's do that first. Let's make a very deep kind of a purpley shade, okay? Magenta, some phthalo blue. And I'm going to take a tiny touch of white as well. And with that kind of soft, you could call it a kind of a soft pink, I suppose. I'm going to just go up there with that. Plenty of turpentine now as well, okay? Plenty of it. And these lovely trees off in the distance. Let's just pop up a few bits and pieces. And let's go one up there as well. So we have one way off in the distance. Just maybe one more, look, just to help it kind of disappear. Soften it down with your fingertip as well. And I think that will just make a nice effect. Now we can start going dark. Let's get some, you know what, it's almost black, isn't it? Black with a bit of magenta perhaps. And let's go nice and dark with this one here. I'll add a touch of black into that as well. Don't forget, like, you know, look, we're going to be sitting these down with a lot of foliage and a lot of leaves and stuff down here as well. So don't worry too much. Let me get some black and I'm going to just suggest some sort of rocks, that kind of thing. Like this, just with a bit of black. You see, I'm just tapping, just putting little slices of colour. Like that. Then I'm going to get some nice bright colour for some highlights. Again, some blue, magenta, and some white. And look, let's try a touch of cadmium red to just warm it slightly. So we're going to get a nice warm pink. And let's just put a touch of warm pink on some of those. Just again to suggest there's a little bit of light on some of these rocks. Look, it's very sort of hit and miss. I'm just keeping it simple now. That's all I want to do, okay? and leave it disappear off into the distance again. So we have a suggestion of just some little bits of rocks off up there. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Now I'll take the fan brush, get some Sienna and cadmium yellow, and just go in around some of those, you see, just to almost blend them back into the ground down below, you see. And then you have this nice effect where it just looks like bits of rock here and there. Get a bit of lighter colour maybe, going around some of those like that. And we can come down here as well like that, just to bring the lightness down along the road. And what I'm simply doing now, my friends, is I'm looking at the photograph, looking at where all the colours are and just putting them in. So I'm not, I'm not trying to be exact with all of this. We have these lovely rich dark tree trunks coming up now. This is where we start having some fun. Let's just keep this nice and loose. So nice simple dark tree trunks coming into the painting like that, and let's go nice and thick with them. Okay, there's one. A bit more black, come on. Let's get them nice and dark, because these really have to stand out, don't they, on the painting. And we have another one that comes up right here, doesn't it? It goes right up like that, and it disappears. And we have another one that comes off that. Is it the same one, or is it behind? Maybe it's the same one, I'm not sure. But it comes off, goes up out of the painting like that. So now we're really going to town, aren't we? And let's bring another big thick branch off of this one. Curls over and it comes across here. Again, just think very, very loose with all of this. Just think loose. And just bring a few off of that. I'm not too fussy with all of this, because I know this is going to be covered with lots of foliage, you see. So I'm not too fussy about all of this, really. I'm not worried about getting this absolutely perfect. I'm going to put a little tiny bit of light on this. I'm going to try some magenta and white, maybe a touch of sienna. I just want to put a hint of light down along there, clean the brush, put a little hint of light along there, just to give the impression that there is a little bit of light catching here and there. Just a hint, you see what I mean? And look, let's just soften it in. Tip of our brush. Okay, I'm going to go pure black all the way down the back here, look. Lamp black on its own. Go nice and dark down there. Let's get a small pointy brush, my friends, and let's start doing a little bit of twigs and branches. Let's get a fine detail brush, lots of thinners, and let's just simply go like that. Have a bit of fun. And again, I'm not going to go overboard with all of this. We have a huge amount of foliage covering all of this, so I'm not worried about going absolutely crazy with this. It's just a suggestion of a couple of little branches popping out here and there, that's all. Next I'm going to put some rocks in around all of this. Look, let's just get thick black paint and let's just put a few rocks like that, and then we go back to our lights again and put a couple of little highlights on some of those, just one or two, Now, it's probably a bit much, so let's just fix it. Let's take some cadmium yellow and burnt sienna, and let's just dab in around some of those. Again, just to kind of sit them back down into the scene. And let's just darken this slightly, okay? Let's get some burnt sienna and a little touch of burnt umber. There, maybe a touch of black and red. You can see how I'm alternating now just between different shades, to try to make it look nice and dark as it comes across. And this is where we start having some fun. Palette knife time, my friends. We can use two different types of knives, okay? And we can simply just have a bit of fun with both. So let's, what should we do? I think we should try this one first. Let's get some yellow, and we have a little bit of burnt sienna down here. I think we'll try that first. And put on lots of thick chunks of paint. Don't be shy. Let's put a couple more back here. And I'm going to take out a lot of cadmium yellow out of my big tube now, alright? Just so we don't have to keep topping up. So let's go for it. Let's have a bit of fun. Burnt sienna, cadmium yellow, maybe a touch of cadmium red. So a nice warm colour. And let's just start filling in our canvas. And you can see how rough I'm doing this now as well, yes? I'm not really sort of trying to paint individual leaves, so to speak. I'm just popping it on in chunks. And just kind of flick your knife through the paint, okay? That's generally how I kind of paint my autumn trees. Let's get a bit of nice orange here now as well. Nice orangey shade. And we'll come over here and we'll do the same. So you can begin to see all of this coming together and taking shape. And yes, it does take a while, but sometimes that's the fun of it, isn't it? Just sitting down, relaxing, and having a bit of fun with your paints. Sometimes that's the best type of painting, I think. Sometimes that's the most enjoyable type of painting. Let's just fill, just want to cover all the white of the canvas with this colour. Up around this area up here, you see, just cover as much as you can, just to fill in as much of the canvas as we can. I go nice and chunky down around here, look, just to give this a real good impact. And again up here, I'm going to just really cover that all in. Do not, whatever you do, do not take all of this too seriously. This really is just about, I would say, just having fun with your palette knife. That's the purpose of this type of painting. You know, I'm not going to try and make this look exactly like leaves and all of that. So I'm just literally filling my palette knife with paint and just having a bit of fun. That's the whole point. And you'll be amazed at what you end up with when you're finished. And as it comes out, I'm just going to start putting stronger shapes on the canvas. And as I said before, I'm not going to copy the painting exactly. I'm just, you know, you see, that's what happens with painting, especially with tutorials. A lot of people will look at the reference photograph too much and they think it doesn't look like the reference photograph. But that's the whole point, you know. I'm not trying to make it look like the reference photograph. I'm trying to make it look like my own painting. And that's the point that I make a lot of the time. And even now there, so far, look, that's looking quite nice, isn't it? Get some more yellow. I think we'll get some yellow and white for a change, will we? Shall we try some yellow and some white? Come on. Let's get some real brightness going on in there. Come on, let's have a bit of fun with this. It's really catching the light, yep, see? So we've lots of leaves just catching some light. Same up here. And you can see that, you know, they don't actually look like leaves, do they? But it's just about getting the feeling of the painting. It's all about a feeling for me. Painting, a lot of painting for me is just about a particular feeling that you get from a painting. You know, it's the whole purpose of art is about how it makes you feel, I find, and a lot of people take that for granted and they focus on just making a picture look like a photograph all the time. But that's, for me, that's no fun. I don't think that's very much fun. That's too much stress, I think. It's not my cup of tea, I'll be honest. I'm going to come down here with this lovely rich orange colour and just start putting some nice fine, thick pieces of paint down here as well. Just be careful you don't get your paint dirty and all of that. Try and keep it nice and clean on your palette. And maybe try a little bit of white up there as well. Get a little bit of light yellow going just in places, just to kind of liven it all up a little bit, you know. Now, so far, I think that's looking quite nice, I'll be very honest with you. I'll be very honest, you know, I'm pleasantly surprised at how this has turned out. Very, very pleasant. You know, I wasn't expecting it to be the best, I'll be honest. But, you know, I kind of knew when I was finished this side, I knew that, you know, that we were going to have something nice. I could just feel it. I could feel it in my bones, through my brush. I could feel that, you know, good things were happening. A little bit in between the trees there. A little bit of yellow again. From here, I would say it's pretty much up to yourself what you would like to do. You know, it's up to yourself, my friends, after this, what you would like to do and how far you would like to go. I'm going to say for me, I'm fairly happy with how this has turned out. I might just take, what I might do is let all of this dry and I'll come back maybe in, you know, 2 or 3 weeks, and I might just paint some proper leaves on it just to give it some proper form. Do you know what I mean? So like I could kind of paint some proper leaves. Once this is dry, it'll cover much better, and I'll be able to put on some, you know, some proper dark kind of autumny leaves, and give them maybe a little more shape. But look, what I'm going to do for now is just take a pointy brush, get some of that yellow, some of that orange, and just put a couple of pieces falling to the ground. I'm also going to just lighten the fence here on one side, a little bit of pink. And I am going to put someone in the distance. Let's put a silhouette of someone in the distance walking away. Now, can you see what I'm doing here? I'm going to zoom in for you, okay? There we go. So, a little silhouette of a person walking away into the distance. Look. and a bit of a walking stick or something, look. Something like that. And a hint of a shadow just underneath. Again, to help the person sit down on the floor. So you're anchoring the person to the ground, so to speak. And there we are. Now, my friends, I think I'll call this tutorial finished. I have to say, I really enjoyed this one. It's been a huge pleasure. It really has. I have to say, I really did enjoy doing this. A little bit of burnt sienna, perhaps. That's probably too much. Just get a bit of black. A bit of black down the back of those. What you could do is even put a little bit of dark blue down in those as well, and that would give you a beautiful kind of a deep shadow. Should we try it? I'll get a little bit of blue, a little bit of white, and a bit of magenta, and let's try a little bit of a deepish kind of a purple down the backs of some of those. Look, just one or two. And that's actually not too bad. And finally, get the palette knife and let's just go up and set some of those down with that colour again. Let's just go up into them, look, as if there's leaves just kind of stuck up on the side of the bank over there. All that kind of stuff. And my friends, that's it. I think we've created a beautiful scene here, don't you? I really do. I'm going to go right back with the camera. There we go. Now, and that's it. I'm very, very happy with this. I think this turned out very, very nice. I'm going to frame it. Thank you so, so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed watching me paint. I hope you've enjoyed learning a few little tricks with the palette knife and just, you know, trying to loosen up a little bit. I hope it's helped. Let me know what you think. Do leave a comment, don't be shy. Thank you so, so much for watching. Thank you for your support as well. I do sincerely appreciate it. I really do appreciate it, okay? You've no idea. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to get another coffee. I think I need a coffee again. And I will tidy my studio and just kind of tip away for the day like that. Just have a bit of fun on my studio, tidy things up, organise, that kind of thing. So I'll see you again very, very soon. Thank you so much, my friends, for watching. It's been a huge pleasure. Take care and God bless.